So this dude, he's a total con artist, but his fabrications are gonna turn him into a millionaire. Let's name him Francis. He's 16, hails from New York, and he just can't avoid getting into hot water. He's constantly fibbing and swiping stuff from his folks and nearby shops. Then one day, he pulls off a forgery and winds up in cuffs. Check out his booking photo. After getting bailed, Francis dives back into his shady antics, eventually nabs a car, and bolts to California. A couple weeks pass, he's busted there too, and they ship him back to New York with a stack of pending charges. Back home, Francis fakes some checks to buy an airline pilot outfit, figuring that looking like a respectable pilot will make folks more willing to honor his phony checks. But that scheme flops because he's nabbed for passing stolen checks, and he does 2 years behind bars. By release time, he's 19. Just a month out, he's pinched again in Boston for car theft and more bad checks. Back to the slammer for another year. Now, he's 20. He gets free and keeps being a jerk. He digs out that old pilot getup and uses it to score some complimentary flights from airlines. Off-duty, pilots fly free, apparently. But then he's arrested in Baton Rouge for ripping off checks from a family that was trying to lend him a hand. From there, he skips to Europe, resuming his car thefts and fake check cashing in France and Sweden. He's collared in France and sent back to the States. He's 22 at this point. Once stateside, no shock. He suits up as a pilot again and keeps forging checks. 4 months in, he's caught and jailed, escapes during his stint. But they snag him days later trying another bogus check. This round, he gets 12 years, but he paroles out after a few. Then he's busted again for pinching art stuff and cameras from a kid's camp. Here's that mugshot. So now Francis is about 26, and he crashes in his parole officer's garage for close supervision. It seems like he's finally turning a corner until he's around 27, when he launches his own fraud prevention business. He starts running these seminars, giving talks. In them, he claims he's a changed man, but he skips the real bits about check scams, betraying buddies, and pilot disguises for free rides. Nah, he invents these wild tales. From 16 to 20, he supposedly infiltrated a hospital and posed as a pediatrician for a full year, acted as a lawyer for another year, faked being a sociology prof at BYU for semesters, swindled $2.5 million from airlines, had the FBI on his tail for years, and pulled a bold escape via an airplane bathroom. And these yarns, they're not minor tweaks, they're total inventions. We know because during those supposed glory days, he was actually locked up, all documented publicly. His real crimes were just bad checks, scamming pals, and a few gratis flights. But none of that matters, because when Francis spins these epic lies about being a fake doctor or attorney, audiences are hooked. They adore it. His tales get so hot that he's booked for a game show spot where he trots out the falsehoods. I served as chief resident in a hospital for a year. Viewers lap it up, loving the guy. Next, he's on the Today Show, then multiple times on Johnny Carson, dishing the same bunk. How did you pull off being a pediatrician? I oversaw 7 interns on the graveyard shift. Those Carson gigs explode his fame. Suddenly, media's all over him, craving details. So he hooks up with a writer for an autobiography, but based on his phony adventures, not reality. 2 years on, the book hits shelves. Catch Me If You Can, an instant bestseller on the New York Times list. He sells film rights, and 17 years later, DreamWorks turns it into a blockbuster directed by Steven Spielberg with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. The flick's a smash. Later, it becomes a Broadway show. All along, post-book and movie triumph, Francis keeps guesting and speaking to crowds, recycling those invented life stories. I spent about a year as a lawyer and doctor, and nobody ever questioned me. It wasn't until the internet era that reporters really probe and verify via records and chats, uncovering that Francis isn't a master impersonator, he's just a compulsive liar. And today, he's still operating his anti-fraud firm and delivering those speeches. Props to Hollywood.